How did you become such a pretty boy, huh? Daisy, are you trying to be in the video? Are you trying to be in the video? Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today's video is one I've been waiting to do for a very long time, and I finally sat my butt down and we're doing it. So, without further ado, here are my writing tips on how to start writing your book. The first thing I suggest for you guys to do is research. See if you can read anything that has writing advice. Look at the YouTube videos, vlogs, whatever you need to do, TikTok, Instagram. There's a whole world out there of information. Get educated in this area and get as much information as you can because it will help you in the future. The second thing that I suggest you guys to do is think about your plot. The beginning, the end, the middle. How do you get from point A to point B? When you do that, it's also creating an outline. When you create an outline, it is there to help you avoid writer's block. You know where your story's going, so you just have to put the details in there and how to make it all smoothly work together. You can go by chapters. That is what I personally went with. So I sectioned everything out in chapters. I had like pictures of things that I could see in these experiences, and I just wrote in detail of how much I wanted to be in that chapter. I think it was a great tool for me to be able to use through the process of actually finally sitting down and writing. Now that you've done your outlining, characters. Who is your main character? What's their backstory? What I've experienced is I needed to get to know my characters, and I still am. My main character is so complex, and I'm like, I wish you could have been simple, but that's the beauty of it, is I think of my characters as real people. For me, I just kind of sit and I imagine how their life has gone. What was their life prior to where we are now, and how did that all lead up to where they currently are, and how do all these characters connect? I did end up using this website called Milanote, and it has been a huge help for me. And no, this is not a sponsored video. I wish it was by them, because I use them all the time when I'm writing, because it helps me so much on staying organized and mapping things out. As a visual learner, it helps me tremendously to be able to see what I'm going after. So we're on Milanote right now. We're on my homepage. I'm going to show you how to create a board. So this is a brand new board. All I had to do is come over here, bring it over, and there you go. I can label it whatever I need to. Once you click into it, this option pops up. So you can have an empty board, you can have a novel plan, which this helped me a lot. So you can get your inspiration, your structure. There's the outline, the plot, world building, characters. There's a mood board, so you can put pictures of inspiration, or you can have colors that remind you of your world. I've used Milanote for a very long time now, and I have to say it has been my ride or die. It has helped me so much through my writing process. So I highly suggest you guys look into it, try the free option, and if you like it enough, it's definitely worth the investment of paying the $10 a month. I hate this one so much. For some reason, it was the hardest thing for me to nail down, but it's having to figure out what perspective you need to be writing your story from. Are you going to write it from your main character? Are you going to write it from a side character who's observing? Are you going to write it from the God perspective, aka the author's perspective? You already know what's going to happen, but the character doesn't know yet. So, and then there's also the option now of multiple perspectives. I personally love that because you're able to get connected to all the characters better, and you can see where they're coming from. You can relate to them better, but it is a lot of work, which is why having a character profile really helps. Understanding their backstory for every character and the connections and how they came to be and why they're doing certain things and what are their pros and cons, that helps a lot when you're doing that. The creative writing process and how it can suck you dry. It is okay to take breaks, even if it's like a month at a time. With writing, you have your outline, but sometimes your mind doesn't want to work with you. I just came out of a 1 month funk and I felt awful. And I was telling my husband how disappointed I was, and I was just not having it. Like social media, everything was just falling apart for me, and I could not figure out why. I'm currently now getting back to how I used to be, which I'm thrilled about, but now that I'm looking back, I can see there was a lot of things happening, a lot of undealt personal experiences of emotions and mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, physical health. It was a very, very rough month. Being in the future, I can see that I just needed a break from everything. I just needed to survive. So I'm able to thrive now. So don't feel bad if you are taking a long break. It's okay. It's part of it. We get tired. We're overworked. So make sure you give yourself a lot of grace. The first version of your story that you write out is not going to be the last. There's the rough draft / the first draft, second draft, third draft, fourth draft. Some people make it to 7 to 8 drafts, okay? I've been working on my first draft for a minute, and also working on your first draft, just get it all out onto the page. It doesn't have to be pretty. When you're in the editing process, when you start the next phase, that's when you can start getting more nitpicky, and you can go through everything and see if that really works for you. Find music. Find music that inspires you in the story that you are creating. If you're writing a sci-fi book, maybe put on some like dubstep, chill step, something to really help you get going. If you're writing an emotional scene, put on emotional music. Really get yourself immersed in the world that you're in, because it will make it that much better and that much more likely to create a bond, because your words are flowing out through the emotion and the experience that you can see your character having. Have tools, okay? So as a writer, your tools are gonna help you immensely. You're not gonna use them all the time, but when you do, you're gonna be happy you had it. I'm gonna show you my little station over here on tools that I personally use for when I am writing. So here we go. This is my little writing station. I have my laptop here, normally have everything set up, but we're currently transitioning back and forth from the coffee table to the dining table. I don't have an actual office over there. And if you're talking about this place over here, that's my husband's gaming station at the moment. So eventually I'll have my own place to actually work. Here are my tools. So I have a journal. I journal almost every day. It helps me get my thoughts straight and my emotions calm down so I can then focus. I have a book behind here for if I ever want to just stop and take a break and read. I have taken forever on reading this book, like, yeah. Okay, next, have a notebook. I love this color, by the way, but have a notebook where you can jot down your ideas. You're gonna have a lot of them. And then also I have a sketchbook. This is filled with different sights and outfits I have pictured in my head for the book. And it's always nice to have this because I can go back and use it to help me describe certain scenes. And of course, you need to have pens, you need to have headphones. I have my headphones, the old wired headphones in there. Also, get yourself some Sharpies. I mean, if there's a really big idea that you have and it really sticks out, write it in a Sharpie. The last thing I can give you guys advice on is self-discipline. It takes a lot to sit down and focus on a book, especially when you're not paid for it. I mean, you're taking time out of your day. Whenever you decide to write from your weekend, I mean, it's a sacrifice to sit down and create your story. But know that it's gonna be worth it. I know that there is a lot of things I have left out. I just can't think of them at the moment. So part 2 will most likely be on its way at some point. But off the top of my head, this is the stuff that has really stuck with me through the process. So I hope it helped. If not, that's a bummer, but oh well. But thank you again, guys, for taking the time out of your day for watching my video. I really appreciate it. If you like what I'm doing and you want to help support my little channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click that little notification bell so you get notified every time I post a video. But with that being said, I really hope that your writing process goes well. And remember that there will be moments where you might hate your story and you will want to quit. That's normal. It's okay. Just breathe. Take a moment. Take a break. But make sure you come back to it, because your story is waiting to be someone's favorite book. With that being said, on to the next one. Here we go.